Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and grab a front row seat to the exciting world of WWE sports entertainment, where the action is always bigger, badder, and better. My name is Chris Phoenix, and today we're going to be playing WWE 2k24, the latest entry in the franchise that just dropped. Now, so far with WWE 2k24, I've done a live stream that fell harder than Shockmaster's debut, and I've been posting up some 4K entrances of the characters that haven't really hit the views that I was aiming for. Just kind of testing the waters out, so to speak. But none of that matters, brother, because I'm having a ton of fun with this game, and I'm hoping to grow an audience that will enjoy it along with me. Today, we're going to be diving headfirst into 2K24's MyGM mode. We're not just booking matches, we're shaping destinies, we're creating legends, and maybe even causing a little chaos along the way in our journey to be the biggest, baddest show on the air. Yeah! But before we take that plunge from the top rope, I've got one small request from you guys to help me grow this channel to all it can be. Make sure you're part of the most electrifying community on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button with a steel chair, drop a thunderous elbow on the like button, and ring that notification bell. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Alright, jumping into the game, the first thing we are going to do is, of course, head over to MyGM mode, since that is the mode we're going to be running through today. And from there, you will choose your actual GM for the show. Now, we got all kinds of different options here, from Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, Stephanie McMahon, Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, Eric Bischoff, Mick Foley, Ted DiBiase, William Regal, Paul Heyman, Theodore Long, and of course we can go with a custom superstar if we so choose. Each of the GMs have their own special ability. As you can see here, Adam Pearce is Instigator. Twice per season, you can increase the levels of all active rivalries by 2. Eric Bischoff, for example, has Backstage Booking. You can double all show logistic bonuses this week. Excludes arena capacity, ticket cost, and show quality. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. 2 times per season, all matches are free to book for that week. And that's only 3 of the GMs that you have to choose from right there. But I've already got my mind set on Mick Foley. Cactus Jacked. Select an opposing brand. 2 superstars who participate in their show next week will be injured. It is selected at random and cannot be used in week 25, which is the end of the season. After choosing your GM, you will then choose your brand, such as SmackDown, Raw, WCW, etc. Now for this, I wasn't sure what I would go with, so I actually put a poll out on 2 of my YouTube channels, as well as X. Man, I hate calling it X. I just want to go back to calling it Twitter. And honestly, does anybody even use Twitter anymore? It makes me wonder, honestly, because I really only got like 1 vote on there, and that was that. Now, each of the brands will also have an additional special ability that you can use throughout your playthrough as well, such as SmackDown here has Birth of Legends. 6 random superstars on your roster will have their popularity increased by +6. NXT has Fighting Champion. Title matches booked for this week will receive a large match rating boost, and etc, etc, etc. So I counted up all the votes from all 3 of the polls that I took, and the one that had the most votes was WCW brand. And that's perfectly fine with me that WCW got the most votes, because honestly I was kind of looking forward to kind of playing through with that anyway. And it's one of the reasons I went with Mick Foley, because I don't know, in my head I can just imagine Mick Foley running WCW. I just like the idea of that. There's another brand that I was kind of looking at too that I thought would be very interesting, and that's ECW. It's brand new this year, and I think that would be a whole lot of fun to play as that brand, except there's one glaring problem with ECW, and that's the fact that they didn't include any kind of women's title, which, realistically speaking, ECW never had any women's titles, so it makes sense. However, I am hearing a lot of pushback from fans already over the fact that those aren't included. So who knows, maybe at some point they'll kind of throw those in there in a patch. But anyway, WCW is the brand we're going to be playing. Mick Foley is going to be our GM, and our special ability for WCW is Classically Trained. Extend the duration of all contracts currently on your roster by 3 weeks. And again, it can't be used in week 25. Now at this point, we can choose our opposition. I could go with 1 other brand, 2 other brands, or just go, we'll fill them all up. We'll have 4 different brands all competing against each other. For me personally, I think I'm only going to go with 3 different brands altogether. All right, so I've set up my competition here as far as GMs and brands. I've got Ted DiBiase here. Now, I've put him in charge of SmackDown because I figured the $1 Million Man should be the head of the big show, SmackDown. I also knew that I wanted Raw to be one of my competition brands as well, but I wasn't sure who I would put in charge of that, so I just went with Adam Pearce since he is currently the man in charge of Raw anyway, though I did consider Eric Bischoff in that role as well. Let me know in the comments down below about my ideas here for who the head of the different companies are going to be in the specific brands I'm playing against, and what you would have done differently. Next up, we're going to set up our session settings for the season. So AI difficulty, I'm going to go with just normal. I'm not going to do anything outlandish because, you know, I don't play this a lot. So I don't want to like overextend myself and try to compete against like hard or even extreme difficulty right now. For our opening budget, I don't want to go too difficult here, and I just want to have some fun with it. So we're going to go ahead and push that up to $3.5 million on that. We're going to leave the player order as default. I am going to go ahead and leave shakeups on. That'll cause maybe a little bit of chaos at the end of the different premium live events and stuff like that. More or less just because I think it might be fun to see what happens. We're going to leave the draft pool as default. We're not going to do any auto drafting. And for match unlocks, I'm actually going to leave this as default because I think it might be fun to unlock the different match types as we go along. Just gives us something to work towards. All right, pretty sure we have the settings out of the way. Let's go ahead and start our first season of the WWE Draft. All right, each GM will start with a budget of $3.5 million. GMs will take turns drafting one after the other. There will be 9 rounds of drafting. After the 9th round, drafting becomes optional. GMs can opt out or draft until they are out of cash. And as a tip, you can press the right stick down to get recommendations on who to draft. You can also press X to get more information about a superstar. So I am playing on PC, but I am using an Xbox controller. It is just my preferred controller. All right, building your roster. When thinking about your choices, consider the ring level, role, and class of your superstar. A superstar can play the role of a fan favorite or a rule breaker. To get the best matchups, you should pair them against each other. Speaking of matchups, you also want to pair different classes with each other to get the best ratings. Giants versus cruisers, bruisers versus fighters, specialists will go against anyone. And if you take advantage of these tips right here that they're giving you and you kind of work with these characters and face them off each other, it's really the best way to get those like best matches and you get the most stars out of it. In short, the right matches will really pay off for you. You'll find the goods and bads when you mix and match different classes, so make sure to take notes. Yeah. So, I have played my faction before. I played it both in 2k22 and 2k23. I didn't play a lot, but what I did play of it, I had some fun with it. Just kind of set up the matches and just, you know, make up these ideas and stories and stuff in my head. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do with this video series as well. 2k24 does bring in some changes, but for the most part, it didn't really move the needle much. We do, however, have this new thing, the ring levels. A superstar's ring level will determine how well they draw crowds and viewers. Even if you book a bad match, fans will still come pouring on in if the superstar has a high enough ring level. So we need to consider the ring level. So we can have like a cruiser versus a cruiser, and as long as their ring levels are really high and they're drawing a crowd, that's still going to end up being a great match. Ring level also determines how many perks a superstar has available to them. Use superstar info to view more info about each superstar and their unique perks before drafting them. So I think perks might be new as well. I don't remember those in the last 2 games, but it's been a little bit since I played 2K23 last. Throughout a season, you can raise your superstar's ring level and popularity by putting them in matches, doing promos, or using power cards. The higher their popularity, the better their matches will be rated. So this is something else that I was doing in the other 2 games when I was playing through it, or at least definitely in the last game. But I never really noticed that by raising their stats and stuff like that. I never noticed anything from doing the promos and stuff that it would actually help much. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I was just missing something. That might actually be why I was never the best at this mode in the game. Here they're talking about stamina. Obviously, you need to keep an eye on your wrestler's stamina. You can't have them just keep getting them in match after match after match. They're going to get tired. They're going to get hurt. So you need to make sure that you kind of give them some time off after a few matches so they can kind of recover that stamina and they'll be better for their next big match. All right, round one of the draft. Here we go. So let's see who we got here. We got Ronda Rousey, Seth freaking Rollins, Asuka, Finn Balor. So the big thing is, who is going to be the face of my brand? Like, who's going to be the big superstar here? I was really hoping to get Bray Wyatt in here, but doesn't look like he is in the draft list right now. I do see Finn Balor. I'm a huge fan of Finn Balor. I don't like him so much now that he's part of Judgment Day, but before the whole Judgment Day thing, I thought he was fantastic, and I really wanted to see him win against Roman. It just didn't happen. So it looks like his ring level is 15. He is $350,000. Let's see. He's a heel. He's a fighter. You know what? I really want to go with Finn. I think he's going to be my superstar right there. So I'm going to draft him first. All right, so it looks like SmackDown went with Ronda as their first pick, and Raw went with Seth freaking Rollins. Those are pretty decent picks, definitely. All right, so for my round two pick, let's see here. Who do I want to go with? You know what? I saw one down here that I absolutely love her, and I really want her to be on my side of the brand. So I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss. She's a ring level 10. $302,000. She's a cruiserweight. That way I got a female and a male. So I think definitely going to go with Alexa. Let's go ahead and draft her. All right, round two. SmackDown went with Big E. Excellent pick. I probably would have chose him myself if they hadn't gotten to him. And Raw went with Asuka. Another great pick. Another one that I probably would have gone with as well. All right, so far I've got two heels. We probably need to go with a face at this moment. So let's see, who can we grab here? I see Karrion Kross right here. He's actually one that I kind of dig, and I think he could set up some interesting stories. So I may end up getting him at some point here. Rhea's still up on that board to grab. That's a good pick right there. All right, I see two excellent picks that I really want to try to get my hands on. We've got Braun Strowman right there. He's a giant. He's a level 10. I think he would make a great part of our team. And we also got Kofi right here as well, a cruiserweight. Tough choices. Tough choices indeed. I am going to go with Kofi first right now, so I'm going to go ahead and draft him to our team. SmackDown went with Logan Paul. They can have him as far as I'm concerned. And Raw went with Shayna Baszler. So Shayna, I mean, she's tough. I'll give her that. I'm going to sort these out by the women here because we need to find a face right here since we got Alexa as a heel. We got Charlotte Flair right here, but I've never been that big of a fan of Charlotte Flair. And I mean, she probably could be good. I just don't think I want to go with her. I do see Zelina down here, though. I do like Zelina. So I might bring her over and have her be a contender against Alexa. I think that could make an interesting matchup. Then again, both Alexa and Zelina are both cruisers, so I don't know. So I think we pretty much want to try to find either a giant or maybe a specialist to go up against Alexa. I think that would be a good match. We do have Piper right there. Let's see. She's only a 5. But she is a giant, and I would get that synergy pairing the giants against cruisers. Also have Tamina. I keep coming back to Charlotte, though. She is that giant right there, and that would work. You know, if I'm going to spend that much, I would rather go for Rhea than I would for Charlotte. I prefer Rhea. Again, not a huge fan of this whole Judgment Day stuff that they're doing right now. I don't like the whole thing with Dominique. But Rhea, I mean, when I first started watching WWE again with my fiance, because she kind of got me back into this, I thought Rhea was pretty cool. I really want to grab her on my side, so I'm gonna go with Rhea. All right, SmackDown went with Nikki Cross. Again, they can have her. I've not been a fan of Nikki Cross like ever. Raw got Jay though, Jay Uso. So they got a pretty good tag team kind of going there if they grab Jimmy as well. Even though Jay and Jimmy's not really wrestling together right now, that still makes a good tag team. All right, I've got 2 males and 2 females right now, and let's see what else we can grab here. We got Gunther right here, which would go great. I'm coming back to Braun, and I really like Braun. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. Well, I guess Raw's not going to be taking advantage of that tag team with Jay and Jimmy, since Jimmy went to SmackDown this round, and Raw chose Omos. That's a good pick. I like Omos. In fact, I was almost going to pick him. Let's take a look at the Bruiser class, which will go great against Finn up there since he's a fighter. So we got Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, Brutus Creed. I don't have Bray, but I do have Uncle Howdy. So the one that's jumping out at me right now the most is Karrion Kross. The only problem being they're both heels. If we look at the specialists, though, maybe I can find somebody in here. Honestly, nobody in specialists are really standing out to me either here. I keep coming back to Karrion Kross. Even though he's a heel and Finn is also a heel, I don't know. I feel like maybe I could switch Finn over to a face. Maybe I can do something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with Karrion Kross. All right, SmackDown went with Josh Briggs and Raw went with R-Truth. R-Truth is a good pick right there. Now, Josh Briggs, I don't think I know him. Maybe he's on NXT or something. I don't really keep track of NXT. All right, so at this point, I kind of want to think about tag teams. So who could I go with that would actually be a good tag team here? I've got Ricochet right here. And then I'm seeing Braun Strowman over there. And I'm just kind of wondering what kind of tag team that would be. That could be interesting there. Also, nobody has picked Zelina yet. And Zelina's a good pick. May end up going with her before I go with a tag team. I just don't think I can pass on Zelina. I think I got to get her now before somebody else does. So I'm going to go with it. The round 7 picks for SmackDown went to Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and Raw went with Eric. Kind of looking at Roxanne Perez right here as well, but then there's Ricochet too. Tough decision between those two. You know, I see Zoe Stark down here, and she's kind of all the way out at the bottom. She's a specialist. I'm going to go with Zoe. All right, for round 8, SmackDown went with Gunther, so they grabbed him from me because he was I was kind of looking at Gunther for a little bit there. And Raw, they grabbed Io Sky, and I was also looking at her. So 2 of my picks right there are kind of gone that I wanted to try to grab if I could. Damian Priest is still left on the list, as well as Ricochet. Tough decisions there. You know, I think I'm going to grab Ricochet. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for Damian. All right, so that was round 9, which means we can stop the draft right now, or we can keep going. I still got a little bit of money left. I'm probably going to keep going. I don't want to go too much further, though. I don't want to spend too much more because I want to like spend some money on some arenas and things like that. Also, round 9, Natalya went to SmackDown and Tamina went to Raw. I think for round 10, I'm going to go with Xia Li. SmackDown went with Ludwig Kaiser and Raw went with Gigi Dolan. And now we're in round 11, and I've got my eye already on somebody here. Pretty sure I'm just going to go with Dexter Lumis right now. All right, round 12. This is going to be my last draft round. I'm just going to go with 12 picks, so we got one more here to choose from. I'm specifically looking at Dragunov there. So I think he would be a great member to our team, and I'm going to go with him. He's also a specialist, so he'll mix and match with a lot of different people that I want to put him against. All right, SmackDown went with Tiffany Stratton, and Giovanni Vinci went to Raw. So we have $640,000 left, 12 rounds of a pick. I am ready to end the draft. So let's go ahead and confirm our picks. And there we go. There is our WCW superstars right there. We got Finn Balor, we got Alexa Bliss, we got Kofi Kingston, we got Rhea Ripley. All big names right there. Not to mention Zelina back there. We've got Finn. I think I've got a pretty good list of people here. And here we have SmackDown's final picks. Now, look at this and tell me this just doesn't fit Ted DiBiase. You got Logan Paul right there, Ronda Rousey. You got Big E. I mean, all of these guys just look like they should be behind Ted DiBiase right there, the $1 Million Man. Adam Pearce and Monday Night Raw. They've got Seth freaking Rollins. They've got Asuka. They got an Uso. They've got Shayna right there. Almost. I mean, that's a pretty good list as well right there. So I think their shows are also going to be kind of hard to beat. So the goal of MyGM is to try to get into the Hall of Fame. It's everyone's dream to someday make it into the WWE Hall of Fame. To get there, you'll need to prove that you have what it takes to manage your roster, money, and brand. Complete career achievements and seasonal challenges to earn trophies and beat the opposing brands to the Hall of Fame. So in order to win, what we need to do is get into the Hall of Fame and prove we are the best. Be the first GM to own 10 Hall of Fame trophies at the end of a season. Ties are broken by most fans, then most cash. Trophies can be awarded through either career achievements or seasonal challenges, and entering the Hall of Fame will allow you to continue playing or retire your save file. So I think we'll probably retire the save file. I don't think we'll continue that and then maybe go on to a new season. Just depends on how well these videos do on this channel. All right, let's see what kind of conversations we've got here. Probably going to be some trash talking. We've got Triple H getting to us. Good to talk to you, Foley. Just checking in to make sure WCW is ready for the new season. Feeling confident. Let's see. Cannot wait to get started. We're going to storm this. You know what? That sounds like me. I'm going to go with that. Cannot wait to get started. We're going to storm this, man. Triple H says, good. Expecting big things in WCW this season. Make it an amazing show. You know what, Triple H? I am going to make it an amazing show. I'm going to make it so amazing. Just, it's going to be fantastic. Speaking of Mick Foley, by the way, he is going to be at the Lexington Comic-Con this weekend. And hopefully I'm going to be meeting him, and I'm going to try to get my Funko Pop signed by him. I think that'd be really cool. So now we got Adam Pierce chiming in. I'm sure he's got something interesting to say. Just wanted to let you know that I plan on taking Raw to the top of the power rankings and staying there. Have the roster and show running capabilities to do it. I don't think WCW stands a chance. You really think you can contend with us when we have superstars like Asuka? Get real. You know what? I do think I can stay in that toe-to-toe with you, Adam. The one I think we're going to have the most problem against, me and you both, buddy, is going to be the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, because he's got the money behind that brand. So now we need to decide who is going to be our champions of our brand. First of all, we got the WCW World Champion. I am going to give that to Finn. He was the first person I chose right there, and I think he deserves it, so I want to give it to him. I feel like he was robbed when he went up against Roman. So now we got to choose our men's tag champions. For this, I kind of think I want to see Ilja Dragunov, and I feel like Dexter Lumis might be you know, I don't know. The other option there is maybe Braun Strowman as a partner for him. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Dexter. All right, so that's going to be our WCW Men's Tag Champions, Ilja Dragunov and Dexter Lumis. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I mean, not Dexter Lumis. I know how to say Dexter Lumis. I'm just not sure how to say Ilja Dragunov, because, I mean, it sounds like the Russian sniper rifle, if I have to be honest. But, all right, and then we need our Men's Champion. So for this one, I'm going to give that to... Yeah, I feel like Kofi should have that. We're going to give it to Kofi Kingston. Then we have our women's division right here. So we need a women's champion. Obviously, I'm totally giving that to Alexa Bliss. And then we need a tag champion. I don't even know if I even have enough wrestlers to do tags for the female brand here. I think I'm going to go with Zelina and Zoe Stark, I think, as my tag champions for that. I could use like maybe one more female wrestler that maybe I could, like, I don't know, put up there with maybe either Rhea or with Zaya, or maybe somebody that could team up with Alexa, and then maybe we could get Alexa both the women's champion and the tag champions. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that. All right, so there we go. That is going to be my champions of the WCW brand. Let's go ahead and confirm that. All right, here we are. This is week 1. We finished the draft. We've got 4 shows until Hell in a Cell. It's going to be our first big premium live event. All right, so this is our home page right here. We've got home. Obviously, this gives me all the details right here that I need to know the first time I log into MyGM. We can book the show. I'm not going to do that just yet. Going to wait till the next episode for that one. Show logistics. This is where we can set up, like, you know, what kind of arena we're going to be using, road crews, etc. Something brand new to the 2k24 game is that you no longer have to set this up for every single match. You can set this up and then just change it when you need it. And then from each additional booking that you do is just going to take like the default. So you set these as your defaults, and every show is going to use the same thing, which is much nicer than having to do it every single time like it was in the last 2 games. Manage roster over here is where we can take a look at our wrestlers and how they're faring. We can look at popularity, draft order, stamina, roles, all that stuff like that. We also have the talent scouts. I'm going to come back and take a look at this in just a moment. Here's our cards. So the cards are the cards you can play before each like week, and then you can get different stuff on it, or you can play it during the week. Someone will let you do that. It gives you benefits and stuff for that week. And then we have our career stats and history, stuff like that. So let's head back over to manage roster real quick. I want to take a look at the talent scouts first of all. Let's see what we can do with this. So, all right, tell me about this. Allow me to introduce you to your team of talent scouts. Each week you'll be granted 5 talent scouts you can utilize to find the best superstars that fit the needs of your roster. You'll also be allowed to view 4 lower level stars for free. All right, so these are like the no-namers, right? Here you'll find search criteria utilized when searching for superstars. These include rank, gender, role, class, promo skills. More specific your search criteria, the more talent scouts will be required when searching for superstars. Once all of your talent scouts are used, you'll have to wait a week to use power cards to earn more talent scouts. Searching for superstars requires a variable amount of talent scouts and cash. Once you have finalized your search criteria, put your talent scouts to work. If you have the required amount of cash and talent scouts, they will attempt to return with any talent that meet my search criteria. All right, so let's say I want to find somebody to be a tag team partner with Alexa. Now, she's a heel, so first of all, we want female. I don't really care about the row. Okay, I guess I can't search for just anything different, right? I can do promo skills, I can do classes, but I can't find anything here that's going to be, I can't search for just a heel, so I guess it is what it is. All right, so this will searching for this specific ones of any female basically is going to cost me $1,000, and it looks like 2 talent scouts. Oh wait, right there I can change that by clicking on that. I can go from rookies to established stars, renowned stars, icons. All right, so let's take a look at established stars and see what we can find in that. And then we'll come down here, we'll hit search and confirm. All right, here we go. So this is who we've got. Looks like they only found me 3 out of that. Piper Niven, Ivy Nile, and Nikita Lyons. So Ivy's a possibility. So for $39,000, I can get her for 5 weeks. Let's come back up. Let's raise that to level 10 to 14. It's going to use my last 3 talent scouts, and I'm definitely going to do that. So let's search that one. Confirm. All right, now that got me, looks like Valhalla, Wendy Chu, Maxine Dupree, Nikita, Fallon Henry. Okay, so we got some choices here. Liking the idea of getting Ivy Nile and tag teaming her with Alexa Bliss. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go with her. I'm going to sign this talent. So instead of just the 5 weeks, I can also sign her for even longer. I am going to sign her for about 10 weeks. It's going to cost me about $67,000. I think that's fair. Let's go ahead and sign that for that. All right, now at this point, the only thing left to do is to book our first show. And again, I'm not going to do that this episode. I'm going to wait until the next one. I want to see what kind of comments and stuff I get. So down in the comments below, guys, let me know who you want to see face who. Who's going to challenge Finn Balor for that title? Who's going to face off against Alexa for her title? I'm thinking probably Rhea. I think Rhea's the bigger star right there. And between Rhea and Alexa, I think that could be an interesting match. I would watch that. So yeah, let me know. Comments down below. Let me know what you guys want to see for the show. We're going to set that up. We're going to get that going in the next video. So until then, wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to read your guys' thoughts.